Hello everyone, welcome to the Storyist. Today, I will be telling you a spooky story about a girl who has been forbidden to play with a Ouija board, but she still plays it in secret right on time for Halloween. Then something shocking happens. Cassidy lives in a white house. Well, a lot of people call it a white house because it is huge and it is white. But contrary to many beliefs, it is not haunted. It's just a simple and ordinary home to the Addams family. And no, not the Addams family you usually hear from the books and the movies. Just a typical and ordinary family living in the suburbs, who just happen to bear the same family name. Cassidy's family home is wide. It has 2 floors, an attic, and a basement. It has 10 rooms in total, as the basic home has been expanded over the years, as many generations of Addamses have lived there before. Right now, there are about 15 people who live in the Addams' White Manor. Cassidy and her parents, her little brother named Kyle, her 3 cousins, 2 aunts and 2 of their husbands, her grandmother, and 3 house servants. They are all living in harmony, and even though a lot of their neighbors think they are some sort of dysfunctional family, they really aren't. In fact, they're very close to each other, like a really big family. That's why events and family occasions are their favorite way to celebrate as a family. A house filled with 15 people is never empty, and that alone suggests merry celebrations all year round. Today, Cassidy has woken up early, earlier than she used to, because she is excited to celebrate her 10th birthday. Today is October 31st, and usually, their family doesn't throw grandiose gatherings inside their manor during the day, because it's the Day of the Souls as well. It's Halloween, and they don't want to act all nice and colorful while others commemorate the death of their loved ones. So Cassidy's birthday is the only birthday in the family that they never celebrate with grand parties. They will usually just order food outside and eat in silence at home. Sometimes Cassidy will join other kids outside for trick-or-treating, but she doesn't really like sharing her spotlight during her birthday. Whenever she joins trick-or-treat groups, or when she goes to Halloween kids' parties, she always feels like she's not celebrating her birthday at all. Instead, she's just joining an ordinary holiday, which she hates a lot. Every birthday, she wishes for the day to come when she will be able to celebrate with loud noises, and with everybody in town invited, and even with fireworks, just like how her cousins and her brother Kyle celebrate theirs. And that is why on this specific day, Cassidy is very excited to get up, because her parents have promised her a week ago that they will celebrate her birthday this year with a party. They promised her that they will throw her a Halloween-themed party. She thought at first that it would be no different to the other parties in town, but when her parents promised her a cake and a candle to be blown off during the Halloween party, she was pretty much convinced. That's why Cassidy got up very early. She immediately runs down towards the kitchen, hoping that her parents and her aunts will be very busy already preparing the food for her birthday/Halloween party for the day. But she's disappointed to see no action in the kitchen. She walks towards the dining room to see her parents having breakfast, and she just stands there watching them. "Hey honey, happy birthday! You woke up early," her mother says. Cassidy walks towards the dining table and sits beside her mother, across from her dad. "I thought you were throwing a birthday party for me," Cassidy worriedly says. Her mother raises her head in an instant, as if remembering something she has forgotten. She darts a sharp look at her husband, and her husband just shrugs at her. Witnessing all that happening, Cassidy realizes that her parents have forgotten about their promise, and she loses hope of experiencing a birthday party that day. "Never mind, I'll just go back to sleep," Cassidy says. Her parents apologize to her and promise that they will make it up to her on her next birthday. That's when she breaks down. "You always say that to me every year, but you always forget. And now you just promised it a week ago, but you still forgot about it," she says hurtfully. She feels her tears run down her cheeks. And before her mother can say another word, she runs back to her room upstairs. As she reaches her room, she feels like her mother will walk in any minute to talk some sense into her. And she's not up for that kind of sermon yet. She just wants to be alone. And to achieve that, she thinks of going down to the basement. She walks towards the basement and then sees her aunt doing her work in the basement. Afraid to be disturbed, or for her aunt to tell her mom about her whereabouts, she runs back and chooses to stay in the attic instead, even though she's afraid of that portion of their house. She never plays in the attic, because that's where all of their vintage things are kept and stored. And for a manor that has been standing for generations, there are a lot of antique things there she might not want to see. She is welcomed by heavy dust as she arrives in the attic. She browses through the storage and sees old dresses, perhaps wedding gowns worn by her grandmother and aunts, or even her mom. She browses through pages of photo albums to entertain herself. After a while, she hears a loud thud. Some sort of board game dropped on the attic floor. She walks towards it and sees it's a Ouija board. Her grandmother's words flash in her head all of a sudden, saying, "You can go play all you want in the attic, but never ever touch the Ouija board." But instead of following her grandmother's words, she disobeys it and gets the board. She starts placing the planchette, a small heart-shaped piece of wood with a glassed hole in the middle, onto the board. Then she starts calling whoever will be there. She doesn't believe in ghosts or anything paranormal, so she's not expecting anything to move the planchette on the board anyway. She's just testing the board. But after a few minutes, the planchette starts moving, and it lands on hello. This sends a chill down Cassidy's spine, because the last time she had played a Ouija board was with a friend, and she was pretty sure her friend was just moving the planchette. But this time, she is alone, and no one else is there to move the piece of wood. The planchette keeps moving in across letters. Jillian, it spells. Cassidy figures that it might be the ghost's name. Afraid, she's about to run downstairs when the planchette moves again. It spells Wait. Cassidy's heart is loudly beating. She feels like she's having a heart attack. But a 10-year-old can't have a heart attack, so she calms herself down. "Calm down, Cassie, it's just a ghost. It can't hurt you," she tells herself. The ghost starts spelling words again using the planchette on the board. It takes a while, but later on, she starts comprehending the ghost's words. Turns out, the ghost is actually her grandmother's sister, who died in the attic after getting locked there for a week accidentally. Cassidy remembers the story of when her great-aunt Jillian died, and she recalls it just the same as the ghost says, making her believe that it really is her great-aunt she is talking to. The ghost tells her that her soul has been trapped in the attic for generations, because her sister did not let anybody touch the Ouija again after she died, which didn't let her talk to anybody in the house. And she is beyond thankful that Cassidy finally came. Cassidy asks her what she can do for the ghost, and she tells her to bring the Ouija down to her sister. Cassidy obliges, and she brings the Ouija board to her grandmother. Her grandmother is enraged at first, because Cassidy disobeyed her one rule about the attic. But once she sees the planchette moving and Jillian talking to her through the board, she almost cries. The two talk for hours using the board, catching up on what they have missed for decades. Turns out, they have been best of friends growing up until Jillian died. Finally being able to talk to her sister, Jillian's soul is finally free, and she bids the Adamses goodbye. Cassidy is very happy about what happened for her birthday. It might not have been some party, but it had been a once-in-a-lifetime Halloween experience. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.